Okay, here we are at another tabletop conversation. This one is a mobile one, and I mean literally, we're walking as we're doing this one.
Yeah, down by the beach with the boardwalk.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day.
A beautiful day on March 21st, right around the
equinox.
Yeah, the equinox.
And
that's us climbing the steps.
It's gorgeous.
The ocean is just beautiful.
Oh, the ocean is so blue today. Just gorgeous.
Yeah. So, what is our conversation? Oh, this is with is the tabletop, or is this the creative life, or a combination thereof?
I think the creative life combination.
Yeah, okay.
Tabletop.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So we're blending. We're weaving them together.
Yeah. It's a period where you kind of are in the slow period, which we call
the fallow period.
But you're starting to come out of it, and so it's like you are like the
Punxsutawney Phil, yeah. Checking things out.
Checking things out, seeing if things are okay.
Yeah.
And that's been happening with us with our creative work. It's kind of like there's all kinds of openings that are happening in ways we communicate with people.
Yeah.
We're starting to have that happen.
It is starting to open more. Yeah. Hi. And as we're doing this walk, we're walking past these hedgerow bushes that are still quite bare, but you can feel spring in the air. You can feel it warming up, and the sun today is just quite beautiful.
And the snow's more melted away.
Yeah, there are piles of snow, but it's more melted away. And it gives you a sense of your creative energy starting to return, and that feels good.
You feel kind of like a seed underground where you're starting to put out a few little roots.
Yeah, I'm looking right over here. Look, there's a touch of green coming up into the grass right now. So it's just starting to peek up there. So we are too.
And it's a good time to actually look at what you have done and how you feel, and kind of look at what is it that you feel you can't wait to happen, and other things that you're kind of unsure of.
Yeah.
Feel a little bit of uncomfortableness or resistance to.
I know, because I was just realizing as you said that, the past couple of days, yesterday and today, I'm just kind of coming out of it now, but I couldn't quite get a feel of what was going on. But I think the word that came to me was just kind of a pensive mood, just kind of trying to get a feel for it, and it felt.
Is it safe to come above ground?
Yeah, it was low key. My energy felt really low key, which was a little bit upsetting. I wanted it to be lifted up more, but it just wouldn't lift up more. It wasn't like depressed or suppressed. It just was where it was. It was just under the dirt more than I wanted it to be. I wanted to be more above ground and more lighthearted and more sun-filled. And the sun today is really helping, I think.
Well, I think this time of our lives is different. Usually, this time of year, we're beginning to paint.
Yes.
And work with the very beginnings of the embodiment of work for this next whole year, 2023. And our life rhythm has changed.
It certainly has.
We're painting, but it's not in the same way. We're bringing archival. What?
Look, those benches or tables there. I hadn't seen that before.
We're kind of bringing the archival of our work together. We have
I'm picking up some very
of
blonde-looking pine cones.
Oh, yeah. We have,
benches, okay.
35 years of work we've done together. And each year we've done large embodiments. So paintings and ideas and sculpture pieces and boxes and writing. Whoa.
Oh, there we go. That's okay.
With all of them. And we've, in the last 3 years, have started to archive all that, which has been thrilling because it's like you do these bodies of work and then you you share them, and then you break them down, and then you maybe do a show around them. And then every week we do the alchemical read class, and that's a whole body of work.
Yeah.
It takes us at least 8 to 10 hours to put it together, 2 hours to record it and create the class. And that's every single week, whether we're painting or not painting. So the written word is also very important to us. So what we're doing is starting to combine the language and the image.
Yeah.
And we've done it some, but never at this great speed. Since the pandemic,
it's
there's
really
a lot
flat
of
out.
the image and words
Yeah.
being combined, and we're finding that the images speed up and assist with the assimilation of the words.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always known it, but it's really once we started doing doing flip books with the class, it's like, oh my God, even we understand it more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's one on each page. There's an image, and it's the image and the word, and they bring
that's
themselves
what I
together.
really enjoy, having that much imagery with the words. It's just, it's because it wasn't something that we didn't do. Is that finally things moved out of the way so they could be there. It could be present, and we needed it as much as we wanted to share it.
A lot of work that we've done over all these years are starting to have voices, and we're seeing how they fit together like a giant puzzle. And they start answering a lot of questions. When you just have the image, there's a whole level of taking in all the patterns and the colors and the color combinations.
Yeah.
When you have the words on the page, and not a lot of words, but words with the image, there is a collaboration and a conversation.
Conversation.
And we're working with that conversation, and it's not like it's been like really popular. It's gorgeous in the books.
People aren't used to that. I mean, they were when they were children, because they had what they called picture books with the words, but then they were educated away from that.
And things that work with internal and the spiritual and the internal and the movement, those were mostly taught and with meditation and all kinds of different what do you call that, modes, different modes. But for us, the exquisite mode is when we bring them together.
Yeah.
And it goes deeper than even the words can go. And it kind of, you feel it, so it's kind of wonderful, and sometimes it's kind of shocking, and sometimes it's annoying, and all those things. But it does create change.
It does create change. Absolutely does.
And it's frustrating for us because when we do the flip books, I mean, gosh, when we do the class, it's like all at once there's another whole pages within the pages because of the conversation between the image and words.
Yeah.
And it's the male and female. And I know when we first started, when we did a show in Georgia, we did a big show at a museum, and it was wonderful. It was really big pieces. But we had words that we put, on the wall beside them. We didn't have them on the pieces, but on the wall. And it was kind of upsetting to people. They were all outside at different areas. There were a lot of so-called, art lovers and important people in Georgia at that time that came to it because it was a museum show, and we had a lot of work. We filled it up, most of it, and their big question was, well, do we need the words with the image? Do we like that?
Yeah.
Or do we need the image with the words? And it was one conversation we came on was outside of the room that was all gold and white with all gold and white pieces, and they were talking about it. And the woman liked the words with the image, and the man didn't.
Yeah.
And they were going back and forth. And then another person who was into art, where they were all talking about it and kind of, passing it over, passing it around. And it didn't feel exactly good to have our work passed around in that kind of mindset. But it's just that's the first exposure. So we've continued. We didn't quit doing the words and the image because we are about the male and female. We work together at the same time, one way or another. And so we've upset people because they don't like that.
Yeah.
And other artists get mad because our art has content inside of it, and they think art is just to be seen by the observer, and the observer does the content. And
Yeah.
that is very true for a lot of art. It's just that our art, that is not its destination.
No.
It has a bigger destination
Carries
than that.
it carries its story inside of it already.
And there's a reason for it. We surrender to it also, just like the viewer does. We surrender to it. When we did it then, and now when I'm doing the collages, it's like, for me, it's like when I had Valley Hill, and I'd make these beautiful hats from Italy. Take straw hats from Italy, and I put 30 yards of ribbon, beautiful fray ribbons.
Go out to the sun.
Okay, and then let me finish this.
Okay.
And then I would put the flowers on it, and I became famous for those hats. And those hats are like doing the collages I'm doing now. Because it is about, those hats were about a cranial involvement. It was about the woman who wore it, that it supported her, made her feel beautiful, but also the flowers on it, they have a consciousness, and they have a consciousness that creates harmony. And so I was doing it then, and lots of very important women wanted those hats on their head, like Barbara Walters and Mrs. Bush, Mrs. Reagan, the Queen, the Duchess of Bedford, Diana, my gosh, Mrs. Reagan, what's his name? The guy with the big deep voice.
Henry Kissinger.
Henry Kissinger's wife. It was exciting, the Hunts.
Yeah.
All these women, Phyllis George, wanted to have these hats on. And I thought, why? Because when I started out, they were not Italian hats. And they loved them. And they were kind of, trying to push each other around to get the hat they wanted. And that was a great fun thing. And Barbara Walters came up to me and she said, now I've got my hat. She had it on. She looked beautiful in it. She says, now, here's put it on the table. I want to come back and pick it up.
Hide it under the table,
Hide it, so nobody gets it. and then later she got it, and she was wearing it. And I felt like, but what I was really working with is women's freedom, women's crowning involvement, women being able to be beautiful. But it was, and that's when the collages now, they feel like making those hats.
Oh, that is, yes.
I listen to the flowers. Now I'm listening to the consciousness that's needed with the work. And so I pick the images that match it, whether they were done yesterday or today or 25 years ago. They all come into those collages.
Yeah.
And then after I get it done, then I sit and I hear all the words.
Yeah.
And the words, there's no distance between hearing it and it being exactly right. So the words match it. And so I surrender to that. And that kind of surrender is important in our work.
Absolutely.
So it may not be important in everyone's work, but it is important in ours. And the same language. The same language with Gaia, the same language with lifting and raising consciousness and supporting the beauty of the female.
And that is very timely right now to be able to bring
But
that
somehow people do
forward.
They don't move into anything. They're just silent.
We've never met with so much silence in our life.
I know.
But
With these,
that doesn't,
all the things
that
we
doesn't
know
stop the creativity
one
from happening.
is great silence maker. And usually we put artwork on, we get more than two.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, what do? We just wait.
Yep, we wait.
I know no other way. I know that it's aligned.
patience
I know it's
is-
important. I know it helps with understanding
Yeah.
as consciousness shifts. I know we need this level.
Yeah.
We need the male and female together. And what we keep getting is, female leader, male leader. We get them opposing each other.
Yeah. That polarity is so
Well, it won't get
anciently
rid
old and so
hate and war. We won't get rid of it.
yeah. Here,
it's in every home.
I can set this here while I walk around. And just use,
That's kind of where we are in the creative process and
This
the
is our day and
alchemical
our
process in our day and our walk.
yeah.
Getting out to get new air, new breath, new perspective. And today is all about that alchemically. It's about that. It's about transmutation and actually moving. It's very supportive. You move very much into a new perspective that's more supportive and more positive. And so we're looking for that. And I think that's what you have to do in the creative process. Is a lot of people, they don't show their new work because they don't need the negative energy that stops them. But for us, it's part of the flow of our work. So we put them in each week. We put them in every class, every flip book. And then we actually put them on Facebook and Instagram to start shifting the energies.
Share them out and get that energy out there no matter what. And it creates a shift in the environment, the atmosphere, the field energy starts adjusting to its presence. And so that's what you do with creativity. If you have a creative soul and you're creating, it's just going to happen, and it's going to be present in this world.
And if you're a new word
world has to adjust.
or a new image in the world, don't let the world stop you.
No.
You have to even go in deeper into it until you bring it even the whole thing together, because it has a purpose. So it has many steps until it all comes together like a puzzle. And you can't let the world stop you in the middle of it.
No.
And that's hard. It happens. It's like when you start a piece. You know, a lot of people do the first little bit and then they think, oh, that's trash, and they wad it up and put it in the basket. The only thing is the piece needs time. It's a consciousness. It's your consciousness. It's going into a creative image and words, but a creative message in the world. And it's new. Usually it's new. If you're working with a creativity, with a freedom, it's going to be new.
It is going to be new.
And sometimes find people, like they've always said, that are like new and that can support you in new, and at least put them around you as you do this, so that you can give it fully and accurately with freedom.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what our family is for us. It's like they support us. They love it. And so they support us. At least we don't have total silence. And we can survive with that. And so if you have friends or family that you can pull in close and are totally ready for you to rattle their bones, it's like that's been said by what's her name? Natalie.
Writing Down the Bones. Is that the one? Yeah. Natalie Goldberg, I think. Yeah.
That's a good book.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many times that's been important, is to let yourself. So it's like a lot of times we even publish our books ourselves, not putting them on that bigger market or that publishing system, because we cannot let them contract us out of our own work.
Yeah.
And our work is really a whole embodiment of work over these 35 years, and they keep building a consciousness. And so we really couldn't let them in on the conversation. And a lot of artists, they write a book and they go to the publisher, and the publisher then comes in on the conversation, and then they start marking the book up, and pretty soon the book isn't anything like what it started, which could be okay, but not for this work.
Yeah.
We don't critique it, so why would we let someone else that knows even less than we do to critique it? So we've had to make a choice.
Yeah. And we have made a very good one. And
we've waited.
It's kept the integrity of the work in place. And so from two people that have, for the last 33 to 35 years, maintained a sovereign state of their own creativity know that it can be done, and it's a matter of perseverance.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I think that's why I made a Firefly Luminary. It's a flower combination of flowers and crystals and words and image and everything. And it's called Perseverance.
Well, look at this. We're at the...
And we take it from time to time.
I know. And here we are at the 20-minute mark again. We've gone on our walk. We've taken you with us, and now we're back home. And we've backed into the driveway. We're getting out of the car now, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it was fun to come to that conclusion.
Yeah, and we'll have another Creative Life show very soon. Thank you for attending.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye for now.